Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the TTV News with some last events in our province. And now we come into details. The Ministry of Public Security in Hanoi held a nationwide conference on drug prevention and control on March the 10th, presided by Minister of Public Security Gerald Tolam. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính attended and delivered a speech at the conference. Speaking at the conference, the Prime Minister stated that drug addiction has become a major threat to mankind. Being well aware of its danger over the past years, our party and the state have paid great attention to leading, directing, promulgating and implementing many guidelines, mechanisms and policies to prevent, combat and control drugs, in which the National Assembly passed the law on drug prevention and control effective from January 1st of 2022. The Prime Minister also proposed that drug prevention and control activities must be put under the leadership and direction of the party committees and administration at all levels, especially the grassroots level, with the People's Public Security Force playing the key role, but not the only force in the work. The ministry, sectors and localities continue to review, amend, supplement and perfect the system of relevant legal documents, creating complete and synchronous legal bases for drug prevention and control, urgently strengthen the steering committee for AIDS, drug and prostitution prevention and control at all levels, strengthen international cooperation, especially bordering countries and countries with economic potential and experiences in drug prevention and control, accelerating the implementation of the program on drug prevention and control for the period of 2021 to 2025. And on the morning of March the 10th, the Ministry of Health held a teleconference to guide the implementation of Decree No. 7 of 2023 and Resolution No. 30 of the government to health departments, hospitals, and medical equipment manufacturing and trading enterprises in localities. Deputy Minister of Health Đỗ Xuân Tuyên presided at the press point of the Ministry of Health. On March 3rd of 2023, the government signed and issued Decree No. 7 of 2023, amending and supplementing a number of articles of Decree No. 98 of 2021, dated November 8th of 2021 on medical equipment, in which including the solving problems related to import permits and circulation registration numbers for medical equipment, promote the issuance of registration numbers for free sale of medical equipment and remove difficulties in revoking the registration number and handling medical equipment with the registration number revoked. Amends regulations on import and export and temporary import and re-export of medical equipment. Amend regulations on sale problems and inadequacies from the practice of price declaration. Decree No. 7 of 2023 of the government is the basis for businesses trading, manufacturing and supplying medical equipment and managers at all levels and leaders of hospital and medical facilities to clearly identify responsibilities, powers and duties in order to contribute to providing the medical industry with the quality equipment for the right values and effective use in order to serve the protection and care of the people's health. Deputy Minister of Health Đỗ Xuân Tuyên emphasized that no matter how difficult the situation is, it must be overcome not to lack medicine supplies and medical equipment. There are many shortages of medicines, but there must be an alternative medicines, or if the equipment is lacking, another time is available. At the same time, it's assigned responsibility to relevant units of the Ministry of Health to organize the implementation and issue guiding documents to unify the implementation in the whole industry in accordance with the government's regulations. And ladies and gentlemen, the Department of Natural Resources and Environment has just held a conference to review the work in 2022 and deploy the direction and tasks in 2023. In 2022, the Department of Natural Resources and Environment deploys the project to remove difficulties and obstacles, free up land resources for economic and social development to recover after the COVID-19 pandemic, complete the TayNinhTV provincial planning reports related to the field of natural resources and environment in the period of 2021 to 2030 and the vision to 2035, review and update the criteria for mineral activities in the province, and inspect, detect, and handle acts causing landscape loss and environmental pollution. Planning on land use of the province in the period of 2021 to 2025, advise and issue specific mechanisms and policies for compensation and site clearance. In 2023, the Department of Natural Resources and Environment will continue to strictly implement the settlement of records on land recovery, land allocation, and land lease, change of land use purpose, and approval of the receipt of land use right transfer to implementing investment projects on production and non-agricultural businesses of organizations, improving the roles of mineral resources management at all levels, especially at district and city levels. Advised the Provincial People's Committee to approve the demarcation and joining to limit groundwater exploitation in TayNinhTV Province. At the conference, there were two teams that won the title of Excellent Labor Collective in 2022. The meeting also awarded the Certificate of Merit of the Provincial People's Committee to 3 collectives and 2 individuals for successfully completing the task for the 2 consecutive years of 2021 and 2022, presenting the flag of leader of the emulation movement in 2022 to the Office of Natural Resources and Environment, Urban Cầu District.
The government office had just requested the ministries, branches, and localities to announce, publicize, and guide the implementation of administrative procedures requiring the presentation of household registration books, temporary resident books, or confirmation of residence. Accordingly, ministries and branches must complete the announcement and publicization of administrative procedures under their management related to the submission and presentation of documents that requires household registration and residence before March 15. On the basis of announcements by ministries, branches, and people's committees of provinces and centrally run cities, publicize administrative procedures within the scope of settlement on the National Database on Administrative Procedures, the information system to settle administrative procedures at the provincial level, and the place to receive and handle administrative procedures. Localities will also complete internal and electronic processes to remove the requirement to present household registration books, temporary resident books, or certificates of residence according to the law on residence before March 20th.
Responding to Vietnam Consumer Rights Day of 2023, the People's Committee of TayNinhTV Province directs activities that need to be organized regularly and continuously under the motto Transparent Information, Safe Consumption, to work together to protect the interests of consumers.
Accordingly, response activities start from the shopping season from December 2022, peak in March 2023, and last until the end of May 2023. Depending on actual conditions, these activities can be held online or centrally. The activities focus on a number of contents such as propaganda, organization of rallies and marches in response to Consumer Rights Day on March 15, organize seminars, training courses on consumer protection, encourage and support enterprises in trading promotion, product warranty support, advice on the safe and economical use of consumer products, discounts and promotions, organizing public events towards the consumer community, commend businesses with many activities to consumers.
On February 19th of the lunar calendar this year, Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara birth ceremony was held at spiritual complex of Padang Mountain tourist area in TayNinhTV Province. Accordingly, Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara birthday celebration will take place at 1:30 p.m. on February 19th lunar calendar at Ba Temple under the leadership of Most Venerable TayNinhTV, head of the Buddhist Affairs Committee of TayNinhTV Province, about a bar Pagoda. The offering of incense and candle procession from Ba Temple to the Great Buddha statue of Tây Bồ Đà Sơn and the drama talk program with the theme Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Everywhere, led by the Chen Master Thích Minh Niệm, will take place on the same afternoon on the top of Ba Mountain. Besides the drama talk program, the Lantern Festival celebrating Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara birthday will be solemnly held at Tây Bồ Đà Sơn Buddha Square in the evening of February the 19th and the 20th lunar calendar, with the participation of hundreds of Buddhists and tourists. Considered as a shark land, Padang Mountain tourist area is a pilgrimage destination welcoming millions of visitors each year to worship and seek inner peace. Located on the mountainside, Ba Pagoda, with more than 200 years old, is associated with the legend of the Holy Mother Linh Sơn Bodhisattva. On the mountain peak is a Buddhist cultural space with a Tây Bồ Đà Sơn Buddha statue, an exhibition displaying hundreds of versions of classic Buddhist artworks, along with 3D mapping technology about information of the universe through the lens of Buddhism. And ladies and gentlemen, from the beginning of 2023, all of the household registration books and temporary resident books are no longer valid for use in transaction and administrative procedures as prescribed in Article number 38 of the Law on Residence. The people need to update information on the National Population Database and urgently make citizen identification with an electronic chip to ensure their rights and facilitates the implementation of related administrative procedures related to registration book. In order for the 2020 resident law to come into life and create favorable conditions for the people and businesses, the government issued Decree number 104 stating that from January 1st of 2023, information is contained in the household registration books and temporary registration books will be exploited through the National Database of Population by methods such as using citizen identification cards with electronic chips, look up and exploit personal information online in the National Population Database, using TayNinhTV application to display information on electronic devices, use of certificates of resident information, or use a personal identification number notice, etc. And in order to ensure that the people can grasp and understand the receipt and processing of documents at the receiving and returning department, the People's Committee of World 3 has actively propagated on decrees, circulars, decisions, and contents related to the regulations on removal of household registration books. In order to make it easier for the people to access administrative procedures, the world actively set up a set of common-level administrative procedures published in publicity on the world's web portal, and also transmit propaganda links to the public and on location, unions, groups, and the social network for Facebook, Chalo, etc. And when the people come to carry out administrative procedures, the people do not need to present as many documents as before, but they just need to use a chip ID card or use their TayNinhTV Level 2 application with the condition for performing the transactions of all sets of commune-level administrative procedures. At the same time, world officials have created everything for the people when going to do administrative procedures, ensuring population data in accordance with the motto bright, enough, clean, and fresh. Although the paper household book was also abolished, the regulation on declaring resident information remained unchanged. The people still need to go through the procedures for permanent resident registration and temporary resident registration as before. And the management of residents will be done through the management of the National Database on Population. As for the National Database System on Population in the commune-level area, the police regularly update, adjust, supplement, ensure the correct, sufficient, clean, and fresh. The national population data is used on the nationwide system, making it very convenient for the police to exchange information, contributing to the convenient management of the police residents. And with a high sense of responsibility, the police of Lâm Thành Nam commune of Hòa Thành Tàu are well performing the task assigned to quickly handle cases coming to do administrative procedures. Since the National Population Data System is in the process of being built and gradually completed, the connection and sharing with the sector has been widespread. But at the one-stop section of the Commune People's Committee, the chip ID card reader is not yet equipped. When the people come to handle administrative procedures, they have to go to the Commune Police to get to a certificate of residence, and since then, citizens will have to travel many times. In countering for some troubles for the people, the police have to appoint officials to carry out the procedures for issuing papers to the people. In the coming time, the Commune Police will advise the Commune People's Committee to direct the branches and actively coordinate with the police to solve the procedures for the people quickly, avoiding the need for the people to go back and forth many times. And in order for the regulations to abolish paper household registration books to be effective, in the coming time it is necessary to implement consistently, synchronously, and effectively methods of applying residential data and citizen identification with chips to replace the paper household books in handling administrative procedures and civil transactions, and give solutions to improve the technical infrastructure to connect information system to handle administrative procedures, meet the requirements of the connecting and sharing data with database on population, ensuring the network security and information security also. And the people who do not have a citizen ID card with a chip or have one but do not have an electronic identification account are interested, should arrange a time to go to the citizen identification collection points where they are located resident to carry out procedures for issuance of citizen identification and register to integrate all kinds of documents into the second-level electronic identity accounts as soon as possible to ensure the legal interest in carrying out administrative procedures, civil transactions, contributing to the construction of e-government in order to serve the interests and create the most favorable conditions for the people and also the businesses. And that's all for the TTV News today. Thank you for joining with us and see you next time.